Hello everybody, welcome back to the United Stand. Good evening wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're watching in. We are here to talk Manchester United. We're here to talk about everything going on with the possible new ownership. The theme tune for the Glazers right now is Should I Stay or Should I Go? You know the song, Should I Stay or Should I Go Now? That's what we're looking at right now with the Glazers. Just off out of the door and leave us alone. That's what we're trying to tell you. That's what everyone wearing a United shirt who has been brought up following Manchester United wants you to do. So just do one now. No. Stubbornness at the highest order is what the Glazer family are, especially Joel and Avram. And they're the ones that are kicking up the stink at the moment, worrying United fans still. Are they still trying to cling on to Manchester United? What can they see? How can they get the right amount of investment into Manchester United for them to stay in that hot seat? Well, it is a hot seat because no one wants them there. They never turn up to Old Trafford. They turn up when the big glitzy glamour ties turn up. It'll be interesting to see if we do progress and if they do turn up to the FA Cup final. Will something be sorted by the time that comes around? Because if you read reports, it's all saying I'm going down the road of this should be signed, sealed and delivered, or we will know exactly where the Glazers are by the time the end of spring comes, coming into the summer, by the end of the season. April, in fact, some of them are saying. We've got lots of quotes to get through. Obviously, get your comments in. Obviously, welcome anyone who's joining the chat right now. So let's look at it. Let's break down the detail. We've got a few quotes to read through, and obviously, they've come from reputable sources, as always. We're going to start, there's both sides here. We're going to do Sir Jim's, we're going to do Sheikh Jazim's as well, and obviously we're going to look at the side of what the Glazers and what noises have been coming out from the Glazer side as well. We'll start off with the obvious one from TalkSport today. Joel and Avram Glazer are still undecided about whether to fully sell Manchester United or accept offers from bidders who want to purchase the minority stake. Now they're looking at it going, still, if someone comes in, offers a bid, if it's not high enough, if they don't eventually get what they want from this bidding process, they will look for outside investment to come in. Now, the way I look at that is, seriously, who in their right mind investing into Manchester United while the Glazers are there? Never mind who in their right mind would do it. Who has got that amount of money to throw away is what I'm saying, because what are you going to get back from that? Let's look at what the Glazers need to do if they're to stay at Manchester United. Let's look at the list that Sheikh Jazim has rolled out that he wants to improve and has seen as the top priority when taking over Manchester United of jobs and tasks to do. Number one, backing Erik ten Hag. Yes, you did it last summer on a revolving credit, the company credit card. There's nothing left. So you officially cannot sign any more players because we haven't got any money left, or you haven't got any money left. Banking on making Champions League and the new shirt sponsorship and then financing them new sales and finally actually managing to do some damage in the transfer market in the selling section just to win a little bit more money in, because you've been crap at that as well, or the people you've employed have been crap at that. That's what the Glazers have to do first of all, and anyone coming in is back the manager, keep Manchester United firmly in the top four and challenging for the title. That's the essential. Then you look at the infrastructure, the stadium. That needs what? $1 billion? So when you look at it, who in their right mind is going to invest $1 billion and not see anything? Because investing $1 billion into Old Trafford is great, but for someone looking in and looking to invest into Manchester United, what do they get from that? How do they get anything out of that? Because anyone investing in to Manchester United is going to want a return. So what is the return from investing into Old Trafford and fixing Old Trafford up, or even in fact building a new stadium? Who is going to invest that much? To build a new stadium, you're probably looking at what everyone is bidding for the club right now as a general total. That's what it's going to be round about near. When you sort the whole infrastructure out, that's what an extra investment is going to be needed. Over time, maybe, for new owners coming in. But if you're looking at this to invest into the Glazers side of Manchester United, then that's what you're looking at. That's how much you need to put in. What are you going to get from that? Nothing, because that's not improving anyone on the pitch. That's not improving the squad. That's not making Manchester United, in terms of results, any better. The initial investment has to go into the squad, like we said, then the infrastructure. it's not going to work. There's no way that that works in any way, shape or form. The more you look at it and the more you break it down, it's just impossible to see. The Glazers need 4 billion if they are to stay in Manchester United, in my opinion, when you break it down, because they need to be able to invest in the playing staff, like we said, the stadium, the training ground, the under 21s and the women's team, because that's what's been offered by Sheikh Jassim. That's what he is willing to put forward in his bid. So anyone looking to come in from the side and work alongside the Glazers, what will they get from their return? It's not going to be someone like Sheikh Jassim who's going to invest in Manchester United with the Glazers still at the helm. He wants the full power. He wants to do it his way. I mean, these people are probably looking at the books now and going, well, I can see the infrastructure, I can see what I can make of this. The way it's been run has been crap, basically. How they've managed it, I do not know, because performances on the pitch haven't warranted them still calling themselves a top football club. That's how bad it's been run. But you also look at it and you go, as an owner or a potential owner buying the football club, I think I said this yesterday, I can see where I can improve this, and my money invested in this area and that area will make Manchester United big again and still keep us competing on all fronts and be one of the biggest clubs in world football. There just isn't any way that a simple bit of investment going to the Glazers is going to change anything that's happening right now. Yeah, they'll invest into the squad maybe, but that's not enough. There's only so much that you can put into Manchester United where the Glazers are in charge, and it's only going to take you so far, and that's not far enough in the eyes of Manchester United fans and everyone else around the world supporting this great club. It's just simple facts. You're going to need at least, I reckon you need another 3 billion minimum just to start the ball rolling, on top of what you bid for Manchester United to take them over as an investor, as someone who's realistically looking at buying Manchester United. You have to be realistic in how you approach and how you look at everything with this takeover, because 4.5 billion, we'll get into the details. It could be over 5 billion right now. There's a few reports. We're going to read them tweets out as well. But you look at that and then you go, on top of that, look at what you have to spend in the playing staff, in the stadium, the training ground. It's billions and billions. So the investment that a new owner coming in to take over full is a realistic look. I reckon around about 8 billion in total to do everything. That's the sort of figure you're looking at, because it's not going to come cheap to make Manchester United great again in terms of stadium, training ground, which we are way behind everyone else in the Premier League right now. Under 21 set up on where they play. We don't even play in Manchester, neither do the women. It's embarrassing. We're actually playing another town outside of Manchester. I mean, come on, this is Manchester United. We need to build stadiums for the women. We need to build another ground for the women, I think, that they can play on, that they can call their own, and the under 21s. We need to be mimicking, and I hate to say this, we need to be doing like what City's ownership model has done in building an actual, it's not just an academy, it's a full-on campus, a Manchester City campus. This is what Manchester United should be doing. This is what Manchester United, being one of the biggest clubs in the world, needs. That doesn't come cheap. Investment into the Glazer side of owning Manchester United doesn't give you that. There's no way that is going to happen in the next 20 years if that's the way this club moves forward from this process and the Glazers are still in charge, in my opinion. Desire comes in with a super chat. No, don't want them here anymore. The Glazers out now. 100% agree, along with everyone else in the chat. Get your comments in on everything that we're talking about right now. The fears of what will happen if the Glazers stay. There is a side to all of this that could happen. The Glazers may stay at Manchester United. They may find a way, because let's be honest, they don't really care what we think. So we have to sort of talk about that and break it down. I'm going to get into the other side of it now. So obviously, we know where the Glazers stand. If there's an opportunity that they can stay, they will jump at it. But that's just for what they want. It's not what Manchester United fans want. And for Manchester United to compete at the highest level, any involvement with Glazers still at this football club equals zero in terms of Manchester United winning the major trophies that we should be competing competing for every season. If the Glazers are still in this club, in any way, shape or form, past this process, we can expect more of the same, in my opinion, because there isn't enough money there. It needs new ownership model where a man can put money in initially and then make a plan for the future to invest in the infrastructure. That man looks favourite right now to me and to a lot of people, and Disco Dave from the Mirror. Disco Dave, don't know why I said it like that, just the word disco just gets me excited, back to the old days. But no, we've met Dave quite a few times in press conferences. He works for the Mirror and he's reporting that Sheikh Jassim is set to make his second bid for MUFC on Wednesday, 5.5 billion, in an attempt to blow the competition out of the water. Now, it was been reported that 4.8 billion was a sort of figure that he was going to be coming in with. That sounded competitive to a lot of people. 5.5, that's billion, that's pounds. Obviously, there was the Euros bid before. Everyone has to put Euros and pounds in. We're in England. Let's just make it pounds, shall we? So we know where we stand. Stop making it complicated. It's already a minefield already. And we've not got into Sir Jim Radcliffe's bid yet. And it really does start getting complicated. But this is simple. How many times have I said that word in these shows? On paper, Sheikh Jassim's bid, football-related wise, just breaks down every hurdle and every possible issue going forward for Manchester United on the pitch and in a football context. It's just that straightforward. It's like Dave says there. Said that bid is in order to blow everyone else out of the water. That's what he's going with. And you look at it, it does work. It works exactly for what Manchester United need and what I just described then. I'm going to go through a couple of other quotes right now. This is sort of counteracting it a little bit because this is what Dave has also said regarding Sir Jim Radcliffe's. While Sir Jim Radcliffe's second bid will be higher than the initial one, it's said to be less than that of Sheikh Jassim. Exactly what we were just talking about then. I don't think anyone is going to come near the bid of Sheikh Jassim in terms of what Manchester United's owners right now, the Glazers, will accept. I really don't think there's anyone going to get anywhere near his bid. And should we really be looking at anyone else? We were talking last night as the news broke about Sir Jim Radcliffe not paying over the top, that was the white flag. He's still coming in with another bid. He's still playing a game. Yellow Bathing Suit with the super chat. I strongly believe the only reason why some of the Glazers, Joel Avram, want to keep the club is more sentimental than anything. It's more sentimental than anything. It was bought by their father. I don't necessarily agree. I understand where you're going from with that. Obviously, it was bought by the dad. And Malcolm, God, that takes me right back when Malcolm Glazer was still alive and he bought Manchester United. God, that was crazy times, that. But I understand that, and I do know there probably is an aspect of that. But ultimately, we know what the Glazers are. They're businessmen. They've turned a, 260 million investment of their own money into what we're talking about now. You don't get anywhere in business unless you know what you're doing, unless you're savvy. I mean, if you looked at all the owners for what they are in the Premier League, so let's put the football side away for a minute in terms of what we've won and how much clubs have progressed. If you look at the owners, then the Glazers, as a business, when you're looking at it that way, they are Champions League winning everything. Multiple titles, Premier Leagues, Champions League, they are the best. Because look at what they've invested and look at what they've taken out. In terms of businessmen, they are the best in the Premier League. They've seen their opportunity, they grabbed it with two hands and they rinsed us completely. That's what the Glazers did. And in their world, they're laughing. They're top dogs. Everyone's looking at them going, whoa, how did you manage that? How have you managed to pull off a $250 million investment and turn it into a possible 5 to 6 billion turnaround? And you're talking you're going to be talking when the Glazers are done here, and if they sell over 5 billion in profit from what they've put in, they've not spent a penny. Like I said, last season's spend wasn't the Glazers. That was the revolving credit facility that United put in place. They just maxed out a company credit card in bringing Casemiro, Martinez, Antony, all these players to the football club that we thought, wow, United are turning the corner. That money's not there this summer. That money's not there without investment and Manchester United winning things. They were fully banking on Manchester United going into the Super League, and that was that. That was their guaranteed money. That was their guaranteed bank. It's gone, and this is what we're left with. This is what we're left with. We'll invest this summer. Let's try and make this club. Let's try and make this club big. Let's try and make this club look like something that wants to be purchased by someone to take it forward. Look like it's worth what we're saying. And you know what? This season they've got lucky. They've just got really lucky that Ten Hag was the right man. I mean, 10 years of messing around with managers, poor structure, poorly run, and they've just fallen upon the golden egg, which is Ten Hag. And this season, I just feel like they've rode the luck. Record sales, record revenues on match days. It is just unbelievable how they've just managed to get this on this last year. I do believe that the whole effort in the summer was to get to this stage now. And I think the rest of the Glazer family want out. Yeah, Avram and Joel, like Yellow Bathing Suit says, they're probably getting a bit of cold feet. This is nearly 2 decades worth of business and what their father invested in initially. He's passed it on to them and they're about to let it go. It's a big moment for them as well. Let's not forget that. But, I mean, I don't want to go on too much about them. I don't like them. So let's just look at the other side of things. I mean, a lot of people are not interested in Sir Jim Radcliffe's bid simply because Sheikh Jazim's looks more appealing. But I'm just going to bring up a quote here from Sky Cave, who says, Sir Jim Radcliffe and Ineos made a very good impression on their visit to Manchester United last Friday. Their approach to buying the club is described as impressive and sophisticated. Yes, they will make a new bid before tomorrow's deadline. That bid is what Disco Dave from the Mirror was talking about, which still won't be anywhere near Sheikh Jazim's. But what Cave has said there is exactly what they had to be. They had to look impressive because they're going to be outbid in the end by someone with a lot more money and an easier transaction process. They've had to be sophisticated. I mean, them wordings, I don't know where they've come from. At the end of the day, money talks. And no matter what you do and how you break down your deal or how complex it is and what you might promise, if someone offers more, you're going to go for it. You're going to go for it. It's like if someone's buying your house, if you've got your house up for sale, someone comes in, they come round, oh, your mates from school, you knew them years ago. Oh, they've got a new family, everything's looking nice, you really want to help them out, it looks good, they're talking the talk, they're going to look after the house, keep it clean, everything that you've done and built up in that house, they're going to look after it, and then you get some other guy who comes in and says, yeah, I'm just this dosser, basically. I'm just a dosser who's just going to come in, I just need somewhere to stay and crash, but I'm going to offer you 15 grand more. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, you big dosser? No, you are going to accept the higher bid. That's the position that we're in right now. So let's look at it. How sophisticated Sir Jim Radcliffe's bid is. Great stuff. Does he know what Sheikh Jazim is going to offer? He could just completely blow him out the water, which his bid is what he's aiming for, Sheikh Jazim. He's looking to just go, yeah, it may be looking good. You may be looking for the best in class and all this spiel and all this talk of Manchester United moving forward. The infrastructure, United are going to win things again. Well, they're going to win things under me. They're going to win a lot more under me because I'm going to give all the power to the manager. We're going to have no debts holding us back. And this club will be self-sufficient. Sheikh Jazim won't have to invest too much in. Once his investment's in, he's built the infrastructure up and everything like I described, he's looking for long-term ownership. When everything's done and dusted, he would probably end up getting his money back. And that's just the way it is. Manchester United are self-sufficient. We don't need this investment. The only reason we need this big investment right now is because of what the Glazers have done to this football club and the debt that we have got right now because of them. This is why this is so big right now. Another super chat in from Nick P. The Glazers are probably thinking if we hang on for another 10 years, we might get 15, 20 billion. If you look at the year-on-year growth since they bought, I'm hoping, well, to be honest, 15 years, Avram doesn't look quite healthy. He looks like he might be going the same way as his father. I mean, that's probably not a nice thing to say, I know. I should probably move away from that road of line of talking, but you look at it and you go, 15 years, you want to have your feet up, don't you? You want to be retired, comfy. They're at the wrong age, the wrong side of their lives in terms of the youth aspect. They just want to be cash in. Just cash in. Let's stop talking about it, shall we? Can we just do it? Oh no, it's Manchester United and everything's drawn out with Manchester United. You can't win, can you? I'm just going to bring up another one here right now. Someone was talking in my ear and then disappeared. Apparently Fabrizio Romano is talking now, but he's not put that straight on my screen. He's told me to just go and look for it, so he's going to have to just do that for me. Yeah, so everyone is talking about, I think, what is happening tomorrow. I just want to go with another quick tweet now, which was, while Ineos... and this was from Matt Lawton in the Times. This is, out of all the tweets and everyone talking, this is the one that sort of hit me as another option. I'm just going to read Fabrizio's. They're shouting at me to read Fabrizio. There he is. He's right on your screen right now. Jazim feels still very confident on his bid to buy Manchester United for full ownership. So Jim Medcliffe's Ineos Group will also bid again after the positive talks last week. Pretty much what Disco Dave was saying. Deadline for second bids tomorrow at 9 p.m. UK time. Then it will be up to the Glazers again. Basically, Fabrizio Romano, too busy talking about players and transfers all day, has just caught wind of what's happened with United from the other journalist and now tweeted it out himself. Nice one, Fabrizio. Cheers for that, mate. Do appreciate all your transfer talk though, but yeah, that is pretty much what we were just saying then. But what I was going to talk about was what Matt Lawton from the Times tweeted out earlier on today, which, while Ineos is looking to purchase the 69% stake of Manchester United at present owned by the Glazer family, its pursuit of Manchester United could be strengthened by a possible partnership with one of the other big groups. Other big groups being someone else who is looking to invest into Manchester United, someone else who is currently in contact with the Rain Group and looking at different possibilities of buying Manchester United or investing into Manchester United. Could they then use some of that investment to actually buy out the Glazers in full? That to me equals debt. That to me equals outside investment that they somehow have to manage and pay back. Dividends, how are they going to do it? I don't know. A few years, buy them out with more on top. All coming out of Manchester United coffers, which should be invested into the football club. If you haven't got the money, do one, basically is what I'm saying. We just don't need the mess and too many chefs in the kitchen, which it is pretty much now. The clear and obvious ownerships of teams in the Premier League are the ones that prosper. That's the way forward. Manchester United's day is done. This whole sort of, I don't mean United, I mean the way United is run is done. These days, this just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. The American investment side of things at this scale and what the Glazers are looking and turning around and the money involved, it doesn't work in the Premier League anymore. It needs a change. And like I said before, I think the Glazers, when it all fell through with the Super League, I think they realised very, very quickly that this is not something that we can hold on to. This is not something that we can carry on for years to come. We're looking now at a guy here who probably wants to run Manchester United till, what, for the next, it could be anything. I mean, you look at what we've got right now at Manchester United with Ten Hag. I feel like Ten Hag is probably going to be one of our longest serving managers if he keeps going the way he's going and he gets the help and he gets the backing from the football club. Honestly, I can see if Sheikh Jazim comes in, I can see him being here for a long, long time. I can see him just wanting to be the biggest powerhouse in world football, and he has got the foundation in Manchester United. He's apparently a Manchester United supporter. We've all seen the pictures in the shirt. He's willing to put this money in, clear the debt, and let United run itself, basically. He said, look, anything that the club makes goes back into the club. It's music to every United fan's ears. That's all we've ever wanted. That's what we used to be. It's a shame that it's come to this and it needs this monumental bid because of what the Glazers has done, but this is the situation we're in now. There are 8 bidders. I won't be surprised if every new bidder is one of those supposed 8 bidders. Yeah, that one in from Wizard. I personally don't want a new stadium. Renovate it. Yeah, Old Trafford is Manchester United, says Dan. I mean, what a robbery the Glazers have pulled off, says Paul Lucas as well. Another member there with a chat. Qataris should stick to the oil business and stop messing about. I don't want against the attack. Qataris there. I mean, on them comments just there, it says, it's quite clear to me, there is still uncertainty in anything that's going on with Manchester United. I think when you're invested in United, like all fans are in their own football club, there's always that worry about what's coming in through the door. Some would say it's the better the devil you know. Do we know what's going to come in to Manchester United? Do we know what the Qataris are bringing? On paper, we know what they're bringing, and it looks great. So Jim Radcliffe is very unclear. He's the Manchester lad that everyone is saying, nah, it looks better for us, the love story of football. One of the richest men in England, built up his reputation, born and bred in Manchester. Does that count for anything these days in football? Not really. It's your whole intention of running Manchester United. If it doesn't suit one member of the fan base, you're going to get a backlash. There could be thousands that don't like it, millions in fact that don't like it. There's always going to be a problem with something like this. With something as big as Manchester United and a takeover's coming like this, the magnitude and the money involved, there's always going to be kickback, and that's what's happening. Just going to do a few more chats. No rats, no cliffs. It's nice, very inventive. You can definitely buy a new sheds. Oh, I'm just reading through. Let's just have a quick look through what people are saying. To those who don't know, Ineos politics are worse than Qatari politics. This is what everyone sort of does now. We sort of start looking into it in detail, start doing their own homework. People have been confused by the 69% stake, what the Glazers have. If Ineos buys that, what does that mean? Does their bid of 4 billion or whatever it is cover the 69%? What happens to the other investors in Manchester United? Do they get paid out? Do they stay? Is that where Ineos's bid is going? Are they keeping other investors that are still at Manchester United in place? This is the whole confusion and the breakdown. And again, like I keep saying, why it looks so much more appealing under Sheikh Jassim and his bid. Because we know who's in charge. We know the club has got no debt. We know where we stand. There's only one man to answer. That's it. It's as simple as that. Boom, shake that room. That's the best chat that we've had all night, that one. I like that one. Clip that one up. Boom, shake the room. Bring the sheiks in, they say. That's the United Stand chat right now. Qatari owners, I'm happy at least we have improvements. I mean, anything's an improvement. I think, which show was it the other day when I said, if the Qataris weren't in and we didn't know about any sort of takeover process, and so Jim Radcliffe came in and said, I'm buying Manchester United out of the blue, everyone would be jumping on board because it was just getting rid of the Glazers. Ultimately, that is the thing that's pushing anyone's sort of look on this, as to like get them out. They just don't want to see the Glazers anymore. It's as simple as that. They've seen what they've done to the club and what they've straddled us with and how they've hampered us over the years. And I do believe, like I said, if Sheikh Jassim wasn't involved, everyone would jump onto Sir Jim Radcliffe's bid. They would. So I'm just reading through. 100,000 stadium. How old am I? I don't think that's a relevant question right now, to be honest. But yeah, have a guess yourself. And no, we're not making a poll on that one either. We have other news to talk about, so I was just reading through some of this backlash from you guys' chats. Lilies United, I can't believe people want Jim. Look at Nice, open your eyes, oh my God. I mean, Qatar invested in loads of infrastructures in Qatar during the World Cup, spelling error there, sorry. Over £200 billion. I mean, we know they've got money. We know what their overall wealth is. That's been reported as well this week. We know there is cash there to buy Manchester United outright. We know it's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be a lot easier of a transaction under Sheikh Jassim. And you know what? Like I said, I'm still swaying towards the Qatari bid is the one that's going to win it, because ultimately he's got more money. If Sir Jim did something miraculous and come out with this and extra investment, I still believe that Sheikh Jassim would still beat the bid. He's just got that much money where he can just go, it doesn't matter. I want Manchester United. There you go. Simple as that. That's what you're looking at. Well, I think we need to wrap up the talk there of the ownership. Let's move on. More stories are afoot. You would have seen the video earlier on today. Mark was talking about Jude Bellingham and United being in a position. It's come from the ESPN. United's confident they can sign Jude Bellingham this summer ahead of Liverpool and Manchester City. Key thing missing from there for ESPN is, what about Real Madrid? Real Madrid just have to go like that. Bang. Mine. Done and dusted. See you later. Everyone else just go home. That's where we're at with Jude Bellingham. How I see Jude Bellingham this summer? I mean, I look at it and I go, I could see him actually staying at Dortmund for another year and waiting for Liverpool. I could see that happening. I can't remember where I heard that the other day, but it clicked in my head and I went, oh, you know what? He's young enough. He's doing well at Dortmund. He's going to be in the Champions League. He's going to be playing at the top table, top tier football. I could see him waiting for Liverpool to turn it around and staying at Dortmund for another year. That just resonated with me. I was just like, you know what? That is a viable option, that. It really is. Still got plenty of contracts. And you know what? Dortmund look at it as like, and they did this with Haaland, it was like they lost a big chunk of Haaland's transfer fee by waiting to where he was in his contract before City bought him, but they banked on being in the Champions League and that money covering the difference. They want their club to succeed on the pitch. That's how that club is run. So they banked on Champions League money. Added to that, the cut down price of Haaland was exactly what they were losing out on by waiting another year for Haaland. They would easily do that again with Bellingham. Another year in the Champions League and what that brings. And when we know it's worth 40, 50 million to get into the knockout stages. And that's where Dortmund have just gone. You're taking a cut price on Bellingham for maybe 70 million, 80 million. You still, that's how they look at their books. That's how they finance. And I could see him waiting around. I mean, I'm going to do a poll, actually. I'm going to do a poll. There is a poll coming up. Can't seem to get through a video without a poll. Midfield options. Let's go Bellingham, Declan Rice, Moises Caicedo, and one more. Throw one more. Let's go Paulinho, because that's been talked about a lot by the fan base recently. I'm just giving you different brackets of prices there in terms of where Manchester United feel like they are, because obviously you heard Mark talking before, United feel like we are in a position to go and buy Bellingham this summer ahead of Liverpool, City, Real Madrid. I don't see how. I know Mark was talking about the ownership, and if the ownership is in place, that's not going to make Jude Bellingham any easier to buy this summer. If the ownership's in place, then you're looking at it and going, well, we've still got financial fair play to deal with. No matter how much money Sheikh Jassim pumps in, there are rules that we need to abide by. We need to sell to bring players in. Poll is up in your chat right now. It's a bit of fun, guys. The type of midfielder, you would say. I feel like there is 4 different types there. Bellingham, quite clearly, I think should be the front runner for it, but it is quite tight. I mean, Declan Rice's season has got him way down on the pecking order there at 4% right now. Tight between Caicedo and Paulinho. Bellingham leading the way at 48% right now. But still, he's not running away with it. We have to be clever in the transfer window this summer. And to be fair, I'd leave all of them if it meant that we got the right striker. So for me, Bellingham, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. United's priority is a striker. And our budget is pretty much going to be, I think the majority of our budget is going to be taken by that. I just feel like we have to make sure that that striker that we bring in is the right one. If it means sacrificing buying a marquee midfielder for now, well, we've still got Casemiro in his prime, then, I think, well, you look at it, and I said this the other day, Casemiro in his prime, it's a bit, so at 25 million, just bring him in for the time being and buy that striker. Make sure you don't get carried away by the bright lights of someone in a position that we don't necessarily need ahead of another one. Don't let that overpower your thinking like we have in the past. Go for what you planned and what you've worked for in the season and what you've scouted. Get the right striker that fits Ten Hag's system. We've already got midfielders there right now, and I can see, yeah, the future. Casemiro's not getting any younger. He's in his 30s, but he's okay for another 2 years, isn't he? Let's make sure we get that up-and-coming young striker that we need. And then I think we'll still have midfield options there for the next season. And right now, we're okay. We are okay. Yes, we've looked a bit thin and threadbare, but you buy Sabitzer, I think it's a no-brainer. It goes into like we were talking about yesterday in terms of Scott McTominay. What players can we get rid of? Can we buy someone like Caicedo or Paulinho? Are they going to be a lot cheaper than what Bellingham and what Declan Rice would be? Yes, I would say they would be, but God, you got to look at it realistically. Any one of them players is going to be big, big money. I think all of them 4 players in that poll for midfield, and minimums is like 60 million. I think that's what it would take to get Paulinho and Caicedo out the door, because they're well contracted up, and obviously Fulham and Brighton are having great seasons. They're in no position to sell players or need to sell players. So for me, I think they're just going to drive a hard bargain, and you end up dealing with Manchester United looking elsewhere again, I feel, because get the striker. That's what I'll say. Boom, boom, shake the room. If you know, you know. That's the tweet that's just gone out. That was a comment that came up in the live comment section before. We have now tweeted it out. Get in there. That was a beauty, that one. I think we'll start doing that actually on these shows. If you get a good comment up there, I think we'll just tweet it out. So start getting creative in the comment section, people. Super chat in from Samomi says, if these stay, we riot. Enough is enough. Basically, if these, let's just think of another word, leeches, let's just use leeches. I know what word you were going with there, mate. And off camera, I'd probably agree with you, but not right now. Let's just say these leeches, because that's what they are, then we riot. Do you know what? That's going to be interesting. I remember talking to Rob Dawson when we had him on the show. And what will happen with this fan base if the Glazers end up staying or are involved in United in any capacity? Because there's not one Manchester United fan I've spoken to that said that they would be happy with them being here in any way, shape or form. Whether it's they've not got any power, they've just got a small stake. Would you accept that? No. Straight out, no. Get them gone. Get them gone. Super chat in from Mikhail says, should go left field with Guari as striker option. Left field never works for Manchester United. This is the problem why I'm just forgetting about the midfielder. I think all our eggs have to be firmly in, making sure we get the right striker. They really do. Anthony Martial, we know, is unfit, can't carry a season, can't play 90 minutes. We cannot win a Champions League or a Premier League with a striker like that. As good as he is on his day, we can't count on that. Everything needs to be geared towards the right striker. Dimitar Berbatov, if you look on the United Stand Twitter feed, he's been talking about Osimhen today. He's talking about his heading ability, his pace, his power, he's scoring goals for fun. in Dimitar Berbatov's opinion, Manchester United should be prioritising Victor Osimhen ahead of any other striker that we are looking at this summer. He thinks he is the dog's taters, basically. And let's be honest, when Berbatov talks, you usually sit down and listen because he is a world-class player. I think he got a raw deal at Manchester United at the time he came in, but Berbatov was a class act, absolute diamond of a striker. He knows what he sees, and he thinks that Osimhen is the right man for Manchester United. That's the way that we should be going forward. I mean, do you guys agree? Is it Osimhen? We know the pitfalls. We've talked about this umpteen times, and you can just feel the transfer vibes is sort of just creeping in now. It is. Now we're at squeaky bum time of the season, the last international break of the season. It's then 2 months full on, 3 games a week football all the way through to the first weekend of June because United are making that Budapest final and the FA Cup final. 3 days in between the Europa League and FA Cup final. Come on. Seriously, give us a break. You just know it, don't you, the way that the season has gone. Fixtures piled and crammed in, and then they have to do it right at the last with the FA Cup and the Europa League. I'm saying that, I'm not being bullish, I'm not being arrogant. I just feel like Manchester United will make both. I think Brighton will be a tough game in the semi-final. And yeah, they will cause us problems. But I think United's experience of being at Wembley will definitely carry us a long way in that game. And I think we'll end up pipping Brighton and playing Man City in the final. God, that could be an epic or a nightmare of a day. Not getting ahead of ourselves, let's concentrate on Brighton. Brighton first. Forget about the final. We've got to beat what's in front of you. As Ten Hag would say, you can only look at the next game, and that's one of them coming up. Keith Robinson TV says, 67 banks have just collapsed. Oil me up. Oil me up. That's like a phrase of the summer. Sorry, a phrase of the season, isn't it? Ever since we got wind in November, wasn't it, that the Glazers were selling? That's been it. Oil me up. Everyone's trying to get creative now and get that tweet, I think. I think they're after us, Charlie. They want that moment. They want that moment of glory, but boom, boom, shake. The room is definitely taking it home tonight as the best comment, and that has now been tweeted out, people. So yeah, if you can think of something better, drop it in. Victor Osimhen, the Nigerian nightmare. That's a bit harsh, isn't it? Victor, I'm just checking that that's right. Michael Joyce, Victor Osimhen, the Nigerian nightmare. Right, okay. I mean, you mean nightmare for opposition? Got you. Okay. I was thinking then for a minute. Jude Bellingham has won the poll in terms of midfielders, favourite midfielders. Declan Rice epically failing in that poll, 4%. Paulinho taking 16, Caicedo 20, and Bellingham 57. I think everyone right now is just looking at Manchester United should be bidding for the biggest and best players out there in world football. We're not there yet. We are not there yet. We need a new structure in place and a new ownership model in place. And then United can come back and start to say that we are top dogs again. I do believe that if the Qataris do take over Manchester United, and world football's shit in its pants, basically. I don't do much swearing, I'm sure, but it is, isn't it? That's where we're at. They're absolutely bricking it. If United get taken over and that debt's cleared and we have got that spending power, with financial fair play in place and the revenues that Manchester United generate, with no debt, United are in the best position in world football. It's as simple as that, and everyone is absolutely bricking it right now in world football. The Premier League would jump. If you give the Premier League a say in this, say for instance you put this to all the Premier League clubs and said like the fit and proper owners procedure and everything that's in place right now, if you gave a vote to every single Premier League club, it would be 19-0, because they know Manchester United would come back and start to dominate football again. That's it. You can forget about everything else. You can forget about anyone else coming to the table. This bid, combined with UEFA's new financial fair play rules, just absolutely plays into United's hands going forward. It does, because United's revenues, United's turnover, and everything that is United in terms of generating money, which we know is up there with the best, just works in every way. And we've got no debt hampering us. A new wage structure to bring into play, everything balanced. It just works for Manchester United, and everyone is hating it right now. The world of football would be nowhere. The media, everyone would be nothing without Manchester United. This is how big this institution is, which is Manchester United. You cannot live without Manchester United. It's as simple as that. Every time I look on social media, you see someone going mad making a video on TikTok or Instagram. It's an opposition fan moaning about Man United. Just accept it. We're back with the Glazers in charge. You give us new owners that are going to run the club properly, yeah, then you will be making some videos and some reels about Manchester United, because your ass is falling out right now. That's where you're at. I'm telling you now. Yes, there is a certain guy on TikTok which I'm tempted to actually just reply and do a video back to him. But I don't know, I've resisted the urge so far. But yeah, he seems to think it funny that, or he just like starts talking about different thumbnails of the United stand. A lot of me, a lot of Beth, obviously Mark, and yeah, he's just hilarious in terms of what he's saying. But it just goes to prove what Ten Hag has done. He has brought Manchester United back to the table. He's brought them back to the top table. You gave him more, and you gave him the opportunity to go and buy what he wants and not be worried about debts and things like this, and a proper structure is in place. Oh dear God. Yep, that's the end for everyone else, basically. That is it. And it's not been out, it's reality. You can tell right now in world football, and everyone talking about this, that this is what it is. This is the worry for all of football. It's like Manchester United, oh God, that means they are officially back. We're already winning trophies with the Glazers and everything. So clear that debt, bring in new ownership, Ten Hag at the helm. It's looking very, very rosy of the Manchester United fan. But no, that's not you. That surely cannot be you. So the guy I was just describing, the so-called Scouser with no face on TikTok, is apparently in the chat with us right now. Hello, mate, if you are in the chat, or that just could be someone trolling. I don't know. I'm going to say that it is someone trolling. There's no way that that guy can be in there. You don't watch the videos as well, do you, mate? Surely not. You've got more things to worry about with your Liverpool team right now. Surely. Anyway, we'll see if he comes back with another chat. I don't know. I can't make my mind up if that is genuine or not. But it is funny watching other fans start to squeal and get all squeaky bum time about Manchester United again. But yeah, it is Adam, he says. Irving Meister General. That's it. If it is you, mate, send me a DM on my Instagram. You know what I am. I'm sure you know where my socials are anyway. Adam Matic 31, you know what it is. Everyone does. It's there. Send me a DM if it is you. I think we need to have it out, don't we? That'll be a funny video. Anyway, looking at it ahead now in terms of other news with Manchester United, obviously this stage of the show now you start talking regarding players, what's actually happening with the squad. Obviously international break gets boring. We start talking about what happens when we come back. That first game against Newcastle. Oh, it's like who's going to be fit? I mean, I'm just absolutely over the moon. I remember talking about Rashford and Rafael Varane. Both out of the international setup now, or this one anyway. Varane obviously retired. It's just great news for Manchester United. And I'm just praying that everyone comes back fully fit, because it's just full-on carnage. Like I said, I'm just looking at the games and all I'm seeing is ping, 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 my account notifications on my phone, Manchester United just destroying my bank account because we're in all these competitions. I don't think I've had such an expensive season. And again, I say it, how lucky are the Glazers that Ten Hag has come in and we get every single draw in the cups at home. No away draw in domestic football, in domestic cup football for 2 seasons. Jesus, we've been through every round of every competition this season and we've not had one away draw. And the Glazers have just took it. They've just took all the money and they're going to go out on a high, hopefully. I mean, if you offered me this at the start of the season, being third right now, still in every competition, Carabao Cup in the bag, and us talking about who's buying the Glazers out, oh man, I'd have put the lottery on if you'd have told me this was happening. Adam, love the show. The United stand rocks. Come on, United, bring on the Qatari owner, says Marcus S. Cheers for that, buddy. Another one, I think, well and truly on. Oil me up. And bring in the Qataris. News on Jude, just talked about it then. United feel confident that they can actually beat Liverpool and Manchester City to the Jude Bellingham signing this summer. I don't think they are. That was my opinion. Evan Ferguson profiles like Giroud, but with additional pace. His ceiling is extremely high, says NN in the chat there. I mean, yeah, NN, I do agree. I think there's a lot of Irish United fans that I know. Funnily enough, obviously, Mark is over there now doing the tour. I'm sure that has come up in terms of questions because he's been talked about as the missing link in terms of that international setup now as a striker. So I would say, yeah, he is one for the future. Can we afford to go for that right now? Can we afford to go for that right now? Loads of people picking up on my new hairstyle. Attention to detail on this channel is unbelievable. It really is. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, actually, but you don't miss a thing. Manchester United, Sheikh bangs the drums. He's going for that. He's going for that tweet there, Charlie. That one. Still don't beat. Boom, boom. Shake the room. Still winning it. I can hear him in the background. I'm just looking at some of these comments now, and everyone's just getting a little bit excited. It's good. It's good. It's what we want. We want. I mean, you take us back to this time last season, and where we was. Oh man, it was just the pits, wasn't it? Everyone laughing at me every single away game. And here's me talking now about United rinsing my bank account nearly every single week because we were in so many competitions. Compare that to last season. Oh, God. That, I would never go back there. As much as I hate lining the Glazers' pockets, I would take this season all day long over last season. Maybe they would have speeded up the process if it was as bad as it was last year in terms of selling the club. But ultimately, you've got to look at this. Ten Hag has saved this football club. He's put us back on a pedestal. He's put us back out there in relevance in world football. And now it looks like an appealing purchase for a lot of investors. So Ten Hag, take your hat off. Baldy's best. He's definitely turned it round at Manchester United. And we are loving every minute of it. Adam's hair is mint. Yeah, I wish I didn't even mention it now. Get the Glazers out. That's more of a chat. I like that one. That's it. Shut up laughing in the background. I can hear you. Not even on mic. If we... so I'm just going to bring up some chats before we finish up. Pulse Play says, if we get Rice, that's good. Otherwise, why don't we go for Neves or Paulinho? We have no chance of getting Jude. He is going to City or Liverpool. Can agree with the outcome there. City or Liverpool. I think that's definitely where I would say. Even Real Madrid, like I said, I think of easier chance. I think United are fourth in the pecking order for Jude Bellingham. I mean, the man went round Old Trafford, went round Carrington and decided that he didn't like it and preferred to go and play in Germany. What makes you think now? I mean, Ten Hag factor, yeah, that's good. And it does give us a bit more draw. But, honestly, still, I don't think he would have changed his mind. I think he's got his heart set. I would say Liverpool, Madrid, they're the top two favourites for me. Oh, yeah, I've just been told me here, he did like the 7-0 Instagram post, didn't he? So, anyone doing that, do we really want him here at Manchester United? Oil Shakes bring the fans from afar, says Mark Sewell in the super chat. I mean, we just got to wait. Each day brings excitement right now for Manchester United fans in terms of what's coming next. I think all eyes will now, with it being international break, be looking off the pitch. We've had plenty to talk about on the pitch. I just think now everyone is just fully focused on what is going on. So I think off the pitch takes priority in a lot of United fans' eyes. Chat there, Adam. This is getting. What's this, Adam? Is this getting carried away before it's sorted? Is what makes me laugh. Last summer, for example, with De Jong was hilarious. Yep, dead right, my friend. It was, and I've talked about this before and why I don't want to go for Harry Kane if it's another drawn-out saga. Honestly, you can leave Jude Bellingham, you can leave Harry Kane for me. United just need to go for a realistic target for what Ten Hag wants and not use our usual process of bid after bid, coming in with bids that are nowhere near what's expected. It's just not going to work. Just go in, act like a big club, put the money on the table, bang. If you don't like it, see you later. We were unlucky. We tried. There was a genuine bid, but last thing we need is a drawn-out saga, and I don't think I could take it. I really don't. It's a busy enough summer coming up already anyway, as it is. But, guys, that pretty much does sum up the video. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow is a big day, Wednesday. This is when we're expecting the second bid deadlines and the bids to come in with it. What's Sheikh Kazim going to do? Is Sir Jim Ratcliffe going to pull a rabbit out of the hat? Are the Glazers going to look at it and go, ooh, maybe we just stay a little bit longer? Please don't. Just go and let the others take over. Well, anyone who's actually got money and can afford to buy United, that's where we should be looking. No more investment, please. Let someone buy it who's got real, genuine money. Guys, cheers for tuning in. Super chats have been on the money, and obviously everyone else's chat as well. Cheers for watching. We will be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Hopefully we've got more news to talk about. Good news moving forward. And it's in the positive side of someone buying Manchester United and getting rid of these Glazers. Cheers for tuning in, everybody. Like, share and subscribe to the United Stand. Hit that bell notification. We've got plenty coming up and you will be notified of that when you hit that button. That's it for now. See you later, everyone.